I keep saying in my videos that I want a garage, which I absolutely do, but it is gonna be a sad day whenever I do have that garage because I won't be coming over to my father's as much. We'll definitely be coming over here as much as possible. I really want a garage, but his is just so awesome. Modifications coming on the ZR2. There's a giveaway going on right now at InChainDesigns.com. There's 2 trucks that are live right now, 2 of them. The F450, the smaller one, and the F450 any level build, which is incredible. So watch this. Here at InChain Designs, just launched the dual giveaway, dual F450 with the any level lift on this one. We have some of my products over here that can enter you to win not just these 2 trucks, but also a ton of Milwaukee and D-Wall tools. We have the Secure by AR-15 shirt, Monolab, the AK-47 bakery shirt, and the new Halloween shirt that just dropped. This is a pre-order, but the pre-orders are actually going to start shipping out because we have a holding shipment of these ones here. So make sure you get on that. And the next few orders throughout the week on some of my products, I'll personally be putting in some of these Milwaukee tools. We got stickers, we got Binford here from the classic sitcom Home Improvement. Hearing loss may occur. Also have that with the key tag, the pull to reject, and slower traffic keep right, and all of the 717 detail sprays, soot cleaner, car wash, interior, and also the new wheel shine that just dropped. You guys have to get on this, the 717 diesel fuel coffee. I've been using this all week. It's amazing. Any of these products get you automatically entered to win either of these beautiful trucks and even a better chance on getting some of these awesome tools. I really appreciate you guys sitting through these sponsor commercials that we have for this. The merch I sell is what supports this channel. It's what buys these products and keeps the builds going. So I know that it's a pain. Even whenever I post them, I feel bad because I hated sitting through commercials whenever I watch YouTube videos. So I really appreciate you guys sticking this out for me. And to the people that buy my merch, just thank you so much. The support means the world. I see your guys' comments too, the words of encouragement and stuff like that. It's awesome. So modification on the ZR2, let's jump right into this. It actually looks pretty awesome. Hopefully it looks just as good on the truck. 2 final things: follow me on Instagram, RFRacing717, and our PO box is open. That address is right up here if you guys want to send us some cool stuff. But here it is, the new modification, the Rough Country winch. Now before you click off, because it's like, oh, that's all it is a winch, because we're gonna get it on here ASAP, is I want to test it and see how it works. Now we can only do that if I'm successful in hooking it up. And also want to go over some of the damage that happened with this truck that had it out for 3 weeks. So over at Performance Diesel Warehouse, he was able to replace a tie rod for me. He said that because we didn't know, it was like everything's solid, this was snapped but somehow was still functioning. I don't know if it was just the metal was lining up correctly inside of the sleeve there and still able to push it back and forth, or it was cracked, because I just can't imagine that the tie rod would have been snapped and still been functional. Like once it snaps, it's done. Definitely damaged enough to the point that it needed a replaced. And then finally, the drive shaft is definitely bent. Now we knew this prior going in, but it got way worse. I don't know where it happened on the trail. I think I have some idea. Ooh. Oh, I slid right off. So you can see there's a bunch of little nicks and scrapes all along the drive shaft here, especially on the U-joint. This little aluminum shield here that I'm assuming is meant to protect the differential from dirt is just peeled away. But none of this is too catastrophic to the point where, I mean, it's like, yeah, we probably should replace this, but nothing too crazy. Until you go to the top here, and I'll try and give you guys some type of perspective, that is very bad. That's an insane divot. And I'll tell you, around 60 to 70 miles an hour, this thing shakes like it's about to take off. It's definitely not good, because whenever you have a truck vibrating that much, especially with key components down there, I'm putting stress on my rear differential, the joints, parts, and that's one of the fastest moving parts on the truck aside from the pistons. If that were to fail, especially at the 60-70 miles an hour that I mentioned where it's stressing the most, we could potentially kill ourselves. Like that, dropping a drive shaft is something you never want to do at speed. I got to make a call to a couple junkyards, because these trucks have been in service now, this generation, I think it's the 2nd generation Colorado, since 2015. So there's got to be one wrecked out there that has a decent drive shaft we can throw on this thing. Some people recommended the steel drive shaft, get like a custom one made, which I'm kind of cool with, but like anything else, drive shaft is hollow. It's gonna, if you punch a rock on this with this much weight on a vehicle, it's gonna put a dent in it, make it off weight. So I think no matter what material you use, it's gonna be a problem. It's kind of good because drive shafts are cheap, tie rods are cheap. I was just talking about this with my father, that it's better to almost have those be weak opponents. I know that sounds kind of weird, but you almost want them to be weak so they fail there. I'm sure you guys have heard of stuff in equipment called shear bolts. So those break first before it damages all the internals. So weaker components almost act like shear bolts. So your tie rod breaks and it doesn't mess up your rack and pinion, or your drive shaft breaks and it doesn't mess up your differential or any other expensive components, your transmission. All right, let's throw this winch on and see what Rough Country's made of. Thank you, Rough Country, by the way. This is their winch. It's the only Rough Country product I have on the truck, but I've heard good things about their winches, so let's give it a shot here. Synthetic rope, which apparently has the same capacity as some of the cables that they offer. Front bumper is off. I don't know how this is going to marry up here with the winch. It has pre-drilled holes, but obviously Fab Fours doesn't know what winch we're going to stick on. Hopefully it's universal. Bit of a dilemma. Now the bolts on the bottom match up. We're gonna have to get creative here, which I hate doing because it's hard enough just for me to follow instructions, let alone retrofit something to where it's not gonna work. So I was worried about the bolt pattern on the bottom. Luckily Fab Fours hooked us up on that end and had the holes drilled where it gives it sort of almost a universal fit. But Rough Country has this power box mounted on the top, which I'm assuming this is meant for like a Jeep to be exterior mounted on top of the bumper or something like that, and not on inside of an off-road bumper, or I don't know what the case may be. It seems like, and I don't know this for sure yet, so we're gonna have to test it out, that I can unmount this from the winch itself and possibly tuck it down in here. The only problems you run into then is it's not gonna be as secure, or we're gonna have to custom make like some type of secured bracket down in there and figure out some way to successfully ground this thing so that we get good power and good current. Plan of action right now is we have this torn apart for the most part, at least with the wiring, so that's going to be relocated. We just don't know where. I'm thinking about possibly putting it down in here. We'll see if that works. A couple parts missing, so we're gonna have to find some of our own. My dad's over there getting some hardware, but we're gonna possibly put the little electrical box on the left side, right side, driver's right, and it'll fit in right in here, I believe, below this gasket. So hopefully the electrical box is protected enough if we hit any waterways, because it does have some fittings that go over the wires, but I think we're gonna have enough clearance if we move it there. And then the only other issue that we run into is getting the power cable hooked up right here, which I think we're gonna flip around, and then I can just reach right in this hole here and plug it in. We're gonna make this work one way or another. All right, so we have these two holes drilled here. I took this entire thing out of its case trying to save some room, ditch the little Rough Country top just to make some room here. This fits pretty good right under here. The only thing is we're going to lose some weather protection. This wasn't watertight as far as I know, so that I think we're going to be able to deal with. Got some holes drilled here, going to custom mount it right here, and then also we're going to have a surprise where the connector is going to go for the remote right up in here. You guys get to see how that turns out. Hopefully pretty good.
Oh my god, that's gonna be a giant hole when we're done.
So the magic of editing, you guys didn't have to sit through the gnarled up mess that we have up here. Just didn't have the right bits. The Ace Hardware local here did not have the bit we needed, so we had to make do with what they have. But it doesn't look that bad. Just cutting through this 1/4" steel is not that much fun. So we rewired up all of this with our own wire, have it mounted up here. It's actually really cool how this little plug, that's meant to be on top of that box. We undid all that and then did like a little custom fabrication here where I can come in with the remote to like the little clicker thing with in out for the winch, and just plug it directly into the top of my bumper here. At first it's like, but we have no more room. That would make sense to put it to where it's protected, because now all the internals are still behind the steel bumper. And this is convenient and almost looks factory. Then we also had to drill some holes up here, mount this little junction box up here, and then we're gonna take these wires and then wire them up to the winch itself, which is the way it's supposed to go. Clean up this, and then our power wires are probably gonna run underneath the bumper, and then to the battery. Day 2, everything wired up, all tested, cleaned up. We have the 2 main wires coming off here for power, and have it hooked up to a battery charger, so we're gonna test it out, a little field test before it goes on the truck itself. I'm excited to use this little custom hookup we have here. So not Rough Country's fault. I didn't give them specs on the bumper or anything that I had here. They just had a top-mounted power box, which we were able to relocate, not an issue. Just a heads up if you guys are looking for Rough Country products. I don't know if they offer anything low profile, but these Colorado front-end bumpers are extremely tight. I know the one on the Duramax had a little bit more height to it. So just a warning, if you guys are looking to get some of these winches, I'm sure it's the same across the board with Schmitty-Built and all the others. This one turned out quite nicely, aside from the little hang-up we had. Winch installed, everything buttoned up, tightened back together. We got the battery, which this is just a rat's nest, because all these cables are like just for dumb mods like underglow and rock lighting, which you wouldn't think would be that big of a deal, but there's wires everywhere because they don't marry up to like a big universal cable that goes up to the battery. So that's a mess up there. But aside from that, this install looks pretty clean. I actually like this a lot more, where I can just plug in right here. It's more convenient than what the factory winch offers, even though I think this is supposed to be externally mounted. And like I showed before, outside of the truck, this is now on the truck. We have out, which should be under pressure, but there you go. And then back in. Works good. I'm sure this winch is going to be used a ton in the future, actually out in the field in practice. I don't know if you guys can hear this. The leaves rustling. It's the middle of fall. It's November 1st as this video is being shot. The majority was shot before Halloween. But just, it reminds me so much of my childhood. My family used to have a home on the mountain, and I love that sound of the leaves rustling before everything falls down. This I do not love. This tree here, I don't know if it's gonna die. It looks like it was struck by lightning. You see it's like all black, and that is due to these spotted lantern flies. Thank you, China. They're pretty good jumpers. But I mean, look at this. Like, it's all like this waxy buildup that comes out of the tree from these guys. I think it's their egg, but I cannot stand these things. I also don't care too much for centipedes. That's a weird looking centipede. Looks more like a millipede. I've never seen them that orange color though, unless it is a centipede. But yes, we're out here at the land. Let's field test the winch. This drilled out section that we have here, obviously I need to paint it yet, is already rusting. Oh my gosh. Rust is truly an unstoppable force. Test one, tree removal. He's working. Oh God. I knew that it was gonna fall back towards the truck, obviously, but I was hoping that it would bend a little bit more off to the side so it wouldn't just crash into the truck. Maybe I can, all right, hang on. Oh God, it is pulling the truck now. Well, you know, it's doing what it's supposed to do, because usually this is meant to be pulling a truck out of a situation, not a tree, which obviously I know it's not gonna rip the tree roots out of the ground. I was kind of hoping it would just break the tree. But look at this, I'm in park. Oh yeah, it does that no problem. Look at that. It's very impressed. Now we're going downhill ever so slightly, so yes, that will help, and there's no obstacles, granted. Oh my God, I put my dog in the bed of the truck to protect her from the tree. She's probably like, why is the truck moving? Yeah, look at that, moved it no problem. I thought that the winch was slipping and that's why, but it was the truck that was moving forward. That's awesome. But I would have no doubt in my mind that if I wasn't worried about this tree snapping and smashing into the front here, if I kicked this thing in reverse, it would absolutely snap the tree off at one of the weak points here. And I'm probably like the rest of you guys, I don't have very much faith in synthetic rope, but the rating on this is just as high as a lot of the cables that they offer. So the winch works fantastic. Like I said, not really Rough Country's fault for the modifications we did. Honestly, I like this better. I'm gonna go home and we're gonna paint this up, that's for sure, because I can't believe that's rusting like that already. I mean, I can believe it, it's just disappointing to see. Coming up very soon on the channel, if not next video, the following video on the new car that's coming to the channel. And it's not like some build like my Trans Am or the Camaro or something like that. This is a race car. It's going to be the next race car so that we can follow through on our name, RFRacing. Because the Mustang was fun and I'm missing having just a fun car, but this next one coming up is going to be awesome. Seems like a lot of YouTubers are gonna go that direction, but you know, why can't I? So leave me some guesses down below what you think my next car build is going to be, and then obviously the next truck build going to be the Chevy Silverado ZR2. Follow me on Instagram, RFRacing717. That's right down here. The truck giveaway for the F450 is going on right now. If you guys somehow missed the last installment of the Karen saga, check that out. It's right up here is the card. Before it was all just fun and games, but now she's coming to my property and flicking me off. It's ridiculous. So you guys just have to check that out right up here. Unreal how in a couple of months, my home is gonna be like right over there. I mention it all the time in these videos, but it's surreal to me because it's like I'm just out here goofing off, and to think that I'll be living here one day on this hill with this gorgeous view. I can't wait. And you guys make that possible for helping me out, supporting me. Thank you guys so much for that. Let me know what you guys think the next vehicle on the channel is going to be, and I'll see you guys next time.